and welcome back to another video, and I am with my cousin Claire.
Hi!
But we're going to talk about all past movies and our top 10 favourite horror movies
of all time.
So obviously it's just our opinion, so no one needs to go all crazy saying that we're wrong, because it's just our opinion. Everyone has a different opinion and it's fine. The first one, number 10, is Lights Out.
Basically it's about an entity called Diana who's trying to get rid of this woman's kids. She sort of like does all this creepy stuff.
Yeah, she does.
Because the kids are trying to get rid of her because they know she's dangerous.
Yeah.
But she sends the mum sort of nutty. The entity can only come out in the dark, so the mum's trying to keep the lights out, the kids are trying to keep the lights on. And
she basically wants the mum to die and be with her forever, so obviously the mum realises the only way to get rid of it is by killing herself and going with Diana so that her kids are saved. So, lovely ending, but it's a good film. It is a good film. Number 9 is A Quiet Place. I think this film has been made quite clever. I think it's a clever film, how they've done it.
Yeah, how the whole film was virtually silent as well. Like, it's pretty much like there's no talking in it at all.
Literally no talking. It's the weirdest film. But because there's no talking, you're on edge the whole time, aren't you?
Yeah.
You're really immersed in it, and it's a really tense film. So it's a family who are surviving in a post-apocalyptic world full of these monsters that they can't see anything, but their hearing
is amazing.
Amazing hearing. So they have to live quietly, but luckily the daughter is deaf, so they already know sign language. They've brought out a trailer for number 2, and it looks really good. Really, really good. You'll have to watch it. It's really good. Number 8 is Dark Skies. So, for any of you alien sci-fi lovers out there, this film is for you. So, it's a
classic alien film.
Yeah, classic alien film. Weird things start happening to this family. Mum comes down in the middle of the night and everything's all stacked up. The cans and the jugs and the pots and pans are all stacked up in the kitchen. Loads of birds fly into the house, but just their house, and there's hundreds of dead birds all over the garden.
Kid has bruises on his body as well.
Yeah, little boy's covered in bruises on his body. They research it, and all the things that are coming up are aliens, isn't it?
Yeah.
Aliens, alien abductions, and they find the details for a guy who lives locally who has experienced it and knows about it. They go to him, and he basically says to them, they are preparing to abduct someone from your house. And normally it's a child, because all these children have been missing. So, obviously, full panic mode as a parent. Oh my god, alien's gonna abduct my child. They'll go home, they ball everything out, don't they?
Get a dog.
The dad gets a gun, and then they're all upstairs, the whole house is boarded up, and the aliens still manage to get into the house, and they abduct the oldest boy. But it does leave it open to a number 2. I mean, it's been a few years, isn't it? And they've still not done it, so who knows? Number 7.
So It Follows. So it's basically a curse that you get from sleeping with someone, and the only way to pass it on is by sleeping with somebody else. So the curse is you're followed by somebody or something that shapeshifts into different people, and if it touches you, you die, basically. So
if they get killed, if it touches them and they get killed, it will then go back down the line and go back through and kill all the people in the curse, who have the curse. So even though it gets passed on, it can come back to you in the end.
It's creepy. It's quite a creepy film, isn't it?
It is really. Some of the scenes, it is scary. And even though it's a curse passed on through sex, it's weirdly not got a lot of sex in it. It's very well done. It's a complete different concept of a film as well, isn't it?
Yeah. I'd move to Australia, so if it did get me, it's got a long way to travel.
Yeah.
It'll take a long time to get to me.
Number 6, As Above, So Below. We went and watched this in the cinema, and see, I found it really scary in the cinema. Like, I thought I was going to have to leave. I felt like I couldn't breathe, because they're in a cave, and it's claustrophobic. It was just so stressful. It's basically a journalist who loves going to these different countries and finding out all these secrets about the countries and hidden treasures and stuff. And she goes to France and meets with a close friend. He goes with her and her friend into the back entrance of the catacombs. Like, why would you go in there? Why would you do it? I don't know. She goes in, they go in, and they're crawling through all these really, like, tight spaces. It's horrible. And basically get stuck in there. they get stuck and they can't get back out, and it's really weird film to try and explain, isn't it?
Yeah.
There's so much goes on. It's to do with like religion and myth and like legends. They have to keep going deeper and deeper into this cave
to find their way out. It's all like parallel, isn't it?
Yes, it's literally like
as above, so below.
So whatever is above, they have to keep going it's deeper. It's the same below, but they end up going for like the gates of hell, and there's demons, and it's about them confronting their fears. It's a creepy film. I think it's scary. It's even got the Philosopher's Stone in there. For any of you Harry Potter fans, that's a Philosopher's Stone in there at one point. They worked so hard to get out. I'm so glad to get out. It's so stressful. The whole film is so stressful. I don't think I'm ever going to visit the catacombs in France.
Oh,
ever.
I will. It really makes me want to go in.
No, it makes me not want to go in there in case it gets stuck.
Number 5 is Insidious. So this one is basically about a kid who can astral project. So when he's sleeping, he comes out of his body, and in the film he's on like a different plane with all these demons. I mean, each time he's sleeping, astral projecting, he's getting further away from his body, and then eventually he gets held captive by one of these demons.
Creepy demon, red-faced demon.
Yeah, the red-faced demon. Yeah,
that's the scariest face I've ever seen in films.
It turns out his dad can astral project as well when he was younger, but he was hypnotised. His mum got him hypnotised when he was younger to stop and to forget he could even do it. So his dad basically astral projects as well and finds the kid, brings the kid back. The kid's fine. The dad is then possessed. So
didn't come back on his own.
Yeah,
he brought some crazy, scary witch with him, didn't he?
Yeah, and that leads you to Insidious 2.
Which also, all the Insidious films are really good, but the first one,
I think, yeah, the first one's definitely the best.
Yeah.
Number 4 is Annabelle Comes Home. It's basically, everyone knows Annabelle. It's about the possessed doll, and with this one she's locked in the cabinet at, it's Lorraine and Ed Warren's house. They're the paranormal investigators. They go away for a weekend and they have a babysitter look after their daughter, and her friend comes round and of course ignores all instruction. She goes into the room where Annabelle's locked.
Everything she was told.
Yeah, so the room, they've got everything, all like the cursed objects and stuff from all their previous investigations, and she's trying to contact her dad, but at the same time she unlocks Annabelle's cabinet, and then she touches everything in the room as well.
All the cursed,
all the cursed objects. Yeah. They can make a film with that, the woman in the white dress.
Yeah, we keep saying
that they should.
We said they can make loads of different films about all these different haunted objects, but the woman in the white dress, she's good. Yeah, because they
made a film about the nun. Obviously, they made Annabelle from The Conjuring and stuff, didn't they?
They've done so many. There's so many good ones.
Like, yeah, they could do the woman in the white dress, but there's all these things, and they're like all these different spirits and stuff that are trying to attack them. And eventually, they get Annabelle back in the cage, and they're all okay. Of course, it's happy ending.
Yeah, happily ever after. Yeah. Well, kind of. Slightly scarred, but you're alive.
Film, but it's a good film. It's a good film to watch. It's quite creepy.
It is. Number 3 is Signs. Signs it's an old film.
It's about 20 years old, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it was made in 2000. It is so good. I mean, I've watched it a billion times. It's basically about a family. The mum has actually been killed in a car accident, so it's the dad and uncle and the
two kids.
Yeah, 2 kids, little girl, little boy. They wake up and their crops have been ruined by crop circles, and it's happened to all different people in the town. The little girl has this weird OCD about water. She always says it tastes funny. It's got hair in it, which actually plays a really
big part at the end.
Yeah, really big important role. Is her having a problem with water, and you start noticing more things as the film goes on. There's lights in the sky, and then there's been sightings. There was a kid's birthday party, and the alien literally just walks out from the hedge. Yeah. And all the kids are screaming, and they board up the house because they think an alien invasion is coming. They all go into the basement. They think it's all over. Come upstairs. Dad says goes to get the television, and in the reflection you can see the alien stood holding the little boy. They knock a cup of water over, don't they?
Yeah, it burns his
and it burns the alien's skin. The best horror film. Alien film, the best alien film.
Yeah, it's
the
brilliant.
Best alien film. Number 2. Claire's, this is one of Claire's ultimate faves.
Number 2 is The Conjuring 2, which is the Enfield Haunting. So obviously it's based on the Enfield Haunting, which is set in London. It's the mum and I think it's 3 kids. Weird stuff starts happening. Of course they get haunted. Ed and Lorraine Warren from obviously the other Conjurings and Annabelles and all those films.
Yeah.
They've been called to help. There's a lot of jump scares because there's the
it turns out to be a demon disguising itself behind the ghost of a man. Yeah, Valak, that's his name. And he disguises himself and hides behind the ghost of a man who died in the house, which is clever demon, just so he can get his hands on the girl, doesn't he? And then possesses the girl and gets her to throw herself out the window. Obviously Ed and Lorraine have ran back to save the day at this point, and Ed goes up, manages to grab her in the last second. It's very dramatic.
Of course. Nearly falls out himself.
Yeah, and Lorraine managed to get in the house, and she realises the only way to get rid of the demon is by confronting it with its name, and she's like, Valak! And shouts Valak at it, and then by saying that, it condemns it back to hell.
Yeah.
A very good film though, and it's based on kind of like a true...
Yeah,
it's
based
true
on a
events.
true story, yeah.
And in the credits at the end, it shows real pictures of the real family, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And it's, you can go and visit that. I'm sure you can go and visit the house.
Oh, that'd be good.
In London. Yeah, we need to do that. I wonder if we can stay the night. No, I don't want to do that.
Oh, I would. I think it would be fun.
I would for £1 million. The last and the ultimate, well, what we think is the ultimate horror film that's ever been made, and it is It. It. Oh my gosh. It's the best one. It's my favourite. I think it's probably one of my favourite films, not just horror movies, one of my favourite films of all time.
Yeah, it's got a good storyline to it as well, hasn't it?
And if
it's quite long.
Yeah, it's long, but you don't realise it's, when you watch it, you don't realise it's that long because so much happens in it. And the first scene is a little boy playing with the boat in the rain, and then it floats down into a storm drain. Obviously the little boy runs over to the drain, and there, behold, is Pennywise the clown.
In the drain.
Lives in the drain, yeah. And every 27 years he comes back and he feasts on the kids of Derry. He's trying to lure him into the drain and tries to be his friend. Georgie reaches in to get his boat, and the clown literally rips off the kid's arm. This kid is like 6. It's the most shocking scene. The first scene, anyway. That's the first scene of the whole film.
First thing you see.
That sets the theme and the precedence for the rest of the film, and then drags him down the drain, and that's it. He's gone. And the film is basically about his older brother and his friends, who they call the losers, and they're trying to find Georgie and the missing kids. And they're searching for him, and then Pennywise kind of appears to each of the children as their biggest fears, because he can shapeshift into their biggest fears. They go into the drain, they search the drains, and they end up in Pennywise the clown's lair, and that's where all these kids are floating around in the air.
Hundreds of them, isn't there?
Hundreds of them, hundreds of kids just floating around in the air. It's like the bizarrest thing. They confront Pennywise the clown, and the best way to defeat him is not being scared. It's by not being scared of him and making him feel small. So they'll just say, oh, you're just a clown, and they're yelling abuse at him and throwing stuff at him and hitting him.
And he literally
turns
shrinks,
into this tiny clown. And then he disappears down this hole, and they think he'll disappear down there and then he'll starve. He'll starve to death because he's not been eating the children and he won't come back. So they make a promise and an oath that they will come, if Pennywise the clown comes back, they make a promise and an oath that they will all come back together to fight it and get rid of it. And then that's what leads you on to It Chapter 2, which is just as good.
Yeah.
Never has a second film been just as good as the first, and I think it was so good. Well, I hope you liked our video. This is the first one we've ever done. Hopefully it's the first of many, and hopefully you go away from this and watch the movies. Let us know if you see the movies, what you think, what your top 10 movies would be. Remember to like, comment and subscribe. See you in the next video.
Bye guys.
Boom.